Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Brianne Beebe. I teach high school math, and today I'm talking all about my teacherpreneur journey. For me, it's very recent that I identify myself as a teacherpreneur, so I'm still kind of uncomfortable saying it. It's something that I don't really talk about with anyone in my life except for my husband, and so other people like my parents have a vague idea of what it is, but they didn't know that I've been doing this for years. They just kind of found out about it recently. But I came to the realization that I started on this journey 11 years ago. Well, 10 and a half years ago. So in the fall of 2008, I started my student teaching, that first real taste of teaching. And I learned so much and then realized that I wanted to share what I learned with the other student teachers. And we had basically like breakout groups of student teachers. We were all assigned different supervisors. So we had all the math teachers had a supervisor. So we would actually meet together as a group and kind of just share what we learned. And we only got to have those meetings like few and far between. So do you remember wikis? I partnered up with my student teaching supervisor and created a wiki, and it was intended for all the student teachers to share what they learned about within our group, not all the student teachers in my school. But I remember I uploaded a bunch of documents, typed out different things. I was the only one participating, which is fine, but I never really thought about it. Like I kind of did this thing once and forgot. And the other thing is with student teaching, you do it for a semester and then you move on with your life. So the wiki was not something that was ever going to last, but I enjoyed the experience nonetheless. Fast forward to 2012, Pinterest. It became a thing. So I get on Pinterest and I'm pinning recipes, I'm pinning outfit ideas, and then all of the sudden I start seeing teacher content. So I'm pinning the crap out of the teacher content and clicking on it to see what it is and what it leads me to, and it all went to blogs. Teacher blogs. I got so excited. I have a love of writing and reading, so I ended up creating my own teacher blog. My first post was in December 2012, and that's when I started Busy Miss Beebe. So that was my old blog, busybeebe.blogspot.com. Some of it's still intact, some of it's not. I'm kind of in the middle of trying to move it over to my new blog. So my blogging really picked up over that summer, and that's when I found the math Twitter blogosphere. So it's basically a group on Twitter. We use the hashtag MTBOS, and we just share ideas in math. We ask each other questions. It's a community of math teachers. And this was so important to me because I had finished my first year teaching where I currently teach, and to this day, I am the only person in the building that teaches geometry. So it's kind of a lonely existence because if I need like insights or advice, or I just have a general question about my content, I don't have anybody in my building to go to. So having this community online became so vital for my professional growth. It was also in this 2012-2013 school year that I discovered Teachers Pay Teachers, and I'm pretty sure it must have happened through Pinterest. I probably clicked on something that looked cool and it led me to this online marketplace for teachers. And if we're being honest, I do not know what really possessed me, like I don't remember, but I opened my store in June 2013. I still have the email. It was June 28th, 2013. And it was July 6th, 2013 that I made my first sale, and it was a calendar. I still have a calendar in my store to this day. It's actually free. I'll link it below. I have to update it for the next coming school year. So hopefully by the time this video goes live, that's been done. Anyway. So I became a TPT seller. I did not upgrade to a premium account until very recently. Honestly, I just didn't want to pay the $60. I didn't think it would be worth it. And that's because I never took Teachers Pay Teachers seriously. I took things that I was using in my classroom that I thought other teachers might be able to use as well, or that was good enough, and posted them. And this is something that I was doing just for fun. It was a hobby. If I had time for it, I did it. If I didn't have time for it, I didn't, and I didn't worry about it. The money that I made from Teachers Pay Teachers went right back into my classroom. The money from Teachers Pay Teachers goes into PayPal, and then the money would come out of PayPal and go back to Teachers Pay Teachers whenever I bought a different resource. So for years, I was adding to my blog and my Teachers Pay Teachers store little by little, very inconsistently. And then in 2017, I started this YouTube channel. And this channel, like everything else, had the intention of helping teachers, but I kind of started getting a clearer picture of my future and what I want. And I think this was there all along, but I want to eventually become a teacher leader. So my goal is to become a really good teacher, and I think I'm good, but I'm not great yet, and I have so much to learn still. So I want to spend a lot of time in the classroom, hone my craft, and then move on to teach others how to do it. I want to be like an instructional coach. I do not want to go into administration. I would consider going and teaching at the college level. I'm not fully sure yet, but I know that that's a goal of mine. And basically, me having a blog and a YouTube channel is kind of a way for me to start working toward that goal. So in all this time that I've been doing Teachers Pay Teachers, I never made like a lot of money because I wasn't really focusing on it. But all of a sudden, August 2017, I remember I made over $100 in a month for the first time ever. And my mind was kind of blown, like, oh, I can make actual money here, but didn't really pursue it. It was just kind of, that was weird. Maybe it was like a 1 month thing. Once we got to 2018, and I remember in February, I made like $45 for the month. And then in March, I made, I think, $30-ish for that month. And combined, I'm like, well, there's the $60 to go premium. And if I'm going to start making money, I might as well go for the premium account. So that's when I upgraded. But also at this time I was pregnant. I remember last June sitting on the couch, I finally got to have maternity leave, and I was like, I'm bored. So I just went and fixed all of my covers in Teachers Pay Teachers, updated product descriptions, whatever. I was like, let me just put some time into this before the baby's here. And then in July, I made over $100 again. In August, I made $400. So then I started to think maybe I can make actual money doing this. But I was also starting to feel lost between the blogging and YouTube, and just kind of like, what is my purpose? Am I really helping anybody? So that way I can get feedback and hear more from them and kind of have more of a dialogue, because anytime you put something out on a blog or on YouTube, it's one-sided. It's me just sharing what I know, and I don't know if it's helping someone unless they respond, which some people do, some people don't, which is fine, because that's kind of how YouTube works. You don't have to respond to anything. You can just watch and then move on with your life. So once my son was here, I actually never talked about this before, but I went through a little bit of postpartum and a lot of just not being sure about anything, because it was just so different and so new being a mom, and how did being a teacher fit into that, and it was just weird, and I was basically going through a weird time. I feel like this part's kind of hard to articulate just because I haven't come to full grips with it. Like even today, I'm still processing what I was going through last summer and fall, just becoming a new mom and becoming a teacher. And I think part of it was mom guilt, but part of me was like, okay, so I'm putting out content for strangers to help them, but what about my family? What about me even? Being a mom and a teacher, you kind of stretch yourself thin, and so I was doing blogging and YouTube for my own personal enjoyment, but at that point in time, I just wasn't enjoying it the same way. This is the part of the story that I've never shared with anyone. So Columbus Day weekend, I went into our local village and I had to get my eyebrows waxed because it was time. It's probably time now, actually. Anyway, so I got my eyebrows waxed, and then on my way back to my car, I walked past our local crystal shop, and this thing is like a staple in our town. People travel just to come here. And I'd only ever been in the store once. And I don't know, it just was not my thing. Whenever it comes to anything that's like spiritual or like paranormal even, I come from the place of being a curious skeptic. But something that day like called me to go into the store, which was weird. And I'd been pondering what the future was of my YouTube channel and my blog, and I found these crystals for a pendant, and I don't remember what they're all called, but there's 3 of them. And so these are what the crystals look like, and this is a pendant that I started wearing like all the time. I know one of them is a clear quartz. I'm not sure what the other 2 are, but essentially they grow or they form in these like long straight sheets. So these are actually meant to help someone get direction. And it's just literally what the pendant was called. It was called direction. And so I bought this, had the chain, put it on that day, and I sit down and look at Instagram, and the first thing I see is an ad from Casey Morris, and it says swipe up to get your workbook to help you get started on selling your teacher resources. So I sign up, go through the workbook, and then Casey has videos, taking it a step further. So I watch the videos, I take notes, and then she has the offer to join the Transform Your Resources course. And then it hit me. I'm like, okay, so this is my direction. I can make more money on Teachers Pay Teachers. It had never occurred to me that people were making serious money, like crazy amounts of money. Like teachers have quit their teaching jobs just to do Teachers Pay Teachers full time. I do not intend to become one of them, but I just really didn't know that that was a thing. So I went through the course, and I think I'll do a separate video, like a review of the course, but I learned so much. And in the blog post that I have linked below, I kind of list everything that I got out of it in a bigger way, not just like, okay, I learned how to do this thing for my resource. It's like I have a sense of purpose and direction for the first time in a long time. And I mean that as far as Teachers Pay Teachers goes, but with blogging and YouTube, I've just have a new vision and new ideas and things I want to pursue so that I can help teachers. And I'm so excited about it, and I just have a new mindset. So I don't look at Teachers Pay Teachers as being this hobby anymore. It's a business. But the good news is that it's still fun and something that I enjoy doing, because I was terrified that if I took this plunge, I was going to lose that. This wasn't really a video to talk about Teachers Pay Teachers or any of that. But for me, it was just more about how we are on a path and we don't always know where it's leading. And this is just how I kind of discovered my path. But with things like this, I like to just stop and reflect on them, and figured I would film a video about it because why not? So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if not, don't worry, more teaching content is coming. If you do want to hear more stuff about Teachers Pay Teachers or the Transform Your Resources course, just let me know in the comments below. I actually took Transform Your Resources and another course, and I think I might review them both. So that's everything that I can think of to get off my chest for this video. So as always, thank you for watching.